I am going to unbox and give my first impressions of Google's new Pixel 6, also my first ever Android phone. Here's the thing, I am a lifelong iPhone user. I've been using the iPhone since probably 2008, I think. My first iPhone was the iPhone 3G. It wasn't my first cell phone. It was probably my third cell phone overall, but it was my first smartphone. I was, of course, already a loyal Apple user by that time, but I certainly never looked back in terms of even thinking about a different phone after that. I've had the iPhone 3G, the 4, 5, 6, and 7, as well as the 10R, and that's where I am today. I haven't upgraded my phone in a while, and I've decided to give the Pixel 6 a try. Let's give it a go. So I didn't end up pre-ordering the Pixel even though I was excited about it. I sort of waffled on whether I was gonna buy it, and then a few days later it was released and I just decided to go for it. To get it a little bit faster, I found a hack. I ordered it through Amazon and got it on Prime 2-day shipping. That did work for me, but now looking back at the site, it looks like it's on a 1 to 2 month shipping time frame. I don't know what's up with this Toronto Maple Leaf box though. I know they have a show on Prime Video, but come on, you're shipping this to Edmonton. There's no chance that I'm a Leafs fan. But anyways, let's open it up. All right, so let's get a bunch of this plastic bubble wrap out of the way. And then there's more plastic to remove after that. And then you've got the Pixel 6 box. It's a slim profile box because, as you guessed, there's no charging brick in the box, a trend that Apple started and others are all too eager to follow. The nice part is they don't shrink wrap the box though. There's just a couple of pull tabs to get it open and then you slide the lid off. And I used the pull tab to get the phone out, which kind of doubles as a screen protector that you peel off. Beneath that, there is a USB to USB-C adapter and a USB-C cable. And you've got the standard instruction books, as well as a SIM card tray ejector tool. Right off the bat, it's a bit bigger than the iPhone I'm coming from, but it feels pretty good in the hand. It's got rounded corners, but the grip is pretty firm. And I like the glossy back as well. The color I got was Stormy Black and I do like the look of it. I will say that as soon as I showed the phone to my wife, she immediately pointed at the camera bar on the back and said it looks stupid. Personally, I don't think it looks that bad and certainly no worse than the camera module on the back of the new iPhones. As far as the setup goes, it was kind of a long process, but it was made easier by just signing in with my Google account. I had to set up my fingerprints, of course, instead of my face, and there was a bunch of questions as well about using Google Assistant. Then I had the opportunity to set up Google Pay as well, which I did opt to do later. And then the setup ended with a quick tutorial of the gestures, which is handy. So let me tell you a bit more about the phone. And if you're interested, I did do a comparison of the Google Pixel 6 versus the iPhone 13 lineup on paper, which is useful for understanding the overall tech specs of these phones. And I'll link to that down in the description if you want to take a look. I think the big breakthrough with the new Pixel lineup is the fact that Google has now shipped their own custom designed system on a chip called Google Tensor. This is a big deal because it allows Google to tightly integrate its hardware and software, and it's also faster than most of the other ARM chips they could have chosen off the shelf. Beyond that, Google really designed the Tensor chip to be optimized for AI. This allows Google to build in some additional functionality like improved speech recognition, as well as voice typing and a live language translation feature and a magic eraser feature to remove unwanted background objects from images. Google says that thanks to their Tensor chip, most of the ML is done on the device itself in a secure sandbox where the data doesn't go to the cloud. It's also got a big 6.4-inch OLED display with 411 pixels per inch and a 90 Hz refresh rate. These aren't the top of the line specs, but certainly miles ahead of my iPhone 10R, which is a 6.1 LCD display with 326 pixels per inch and a 60 Hz refresh rate. This Pixel 6 has a dual rear camera system. It has a 50 megapixel wide angle camera and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, as well as an 8 megapixel front camera. I can't comment on the camera system just yet, but I am planning to do a video just on Pixel 6 photography. I got the model with 128 gigs of storage. That's what I've got on my iPhone, and it's served me quite well. The Pixel 6 also ships with Android 12, which Google pitches as the fastest, cleanest, most secure version of Android yet. They've revamped the interface to not only be smoother and more responsive, but more customizable. They made a big deal about Material You when they announced Android 12. Essentially, it allows you to set a wallpaper and the system colors will change to match. There's some additional customization around widget colors and shapes and so on. There's also more of a privacy focus with easier mic and camera access controls right from the quick settings panel. Plus, a privacy dashboard which lets you see how apps are using your data and allows you to manage app permissions right there. That's definitely a nice touch in a world where apps are trying every way possible to track us. Getting into the usage of this phone a little bit over a few hours gave me a few thoughts. First of all, Google uses haptics all over the place and right off the bat on the setup screen, which adds another layer to the user experience when done well, and they generally do it well. Oddly, I had a notification lingering after I set up the phone that was telling me to finish setting up my phone. I kept tapping on it and trying to dismiss it, but it wouldn't do anything. After I restarted the phone, it went away. I am definitely a fan of the fingerprint reader. I know in-display fingerprint readers aren't new this year, but I've never tried one and I think it's great. Not only that, but it's kind of a nice change from Face ID on the iPhone. I don't have to worry about having my phone at the right angle so I can shine infrared light into my face, and therefore it works more often, which makes unlocking the Pixel a little bit more convenient. I also really like the always on display, which is an optional setting, but when I'm not using the phone and I have it face up, I can quickly glance at the time as well as the weather. This took me no time at all to get into the habit of, and it's super convenient. Lastly, the Pixel has a camera cutout for its front-facing camera lens instead of the iPhone's notch at the top of the screen. It's funny how much hate the notch gets online, even though in the real world, consumers don't seem to care. They keep buying iPhones by the millions. And I guess I would have to count myself in that group as well. I didn't think about the fact that the Pixel has no notch at all. It only dawned on me when I was looking at the two phones side by side. Maybe I'm so numb to the reality of the notch that it just doesn't faze me, but I don't really consider the notchless display to be a particular benefit versus the iPhone. There's a lot of comparisons and reviews out there pitting the Pixel 6 against the iPhone 13. However, most people are in my situation, upgrading from an older phone. If people are looking to switch to Android, they likely have an iPhone that is a couple of years older. My first impression is that the Pixel 6 is great value for money. It's $799, which is a decent amount cheaper than the iPhone and other flagship models as well. And overall, it has comparable features. Certainly switching over from my older iPhone, the first few hours with the Pixel have been a fun experience, and I would guess most people who buy this phone will be pretty happy with it. Does that mean that I, as an Apple fanboy, historically speaking of course, am ready to completely switch over and say goodbye to the iPhone life? Well, I need some more time to make that decision. So next up I'll be posting a full-on review from my perspective. So if you want to catch that, hit that subscribe button to see the follow-up video. I'll be sharing my comprehensive thoughts as an Apple user attempting to make the Pixel 6 my daily driver, and I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks again. If you found the video interesting, click that like button so that more people can get it recommended to them. I definitely appreciate the support. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.